Hey Cafe crew, it's Colin Smith here, and I've got something that I want to talk about is why did I return my new MacBook Pro, my 2017 MacBook Pro. I've had a lot of people ask me about it. They're like, oh, I thought you loved it, but in the end, I actually returned it to Apple, and I'm going to give you the reasons right now. First of all, let me make this clear. I'm not a hater. I'm a huge Apple fan. In fact, I have the iPads, the iPhones, I have the tower, I have the trash can, I have the MacBook Pro here. This is my fifth, sixth MacBook Pro, whatever. I've been using Apple for a long time. Big fan. I love Apple. And it wasn't the touch bar. I love the touch bar on the new MacBook Pro. And I really wanted to love it. I loved the screen. I loved the design. It was in space gray. It was sexy. It was a beautiful looking machine. And I so badly wanted to love it, but I couldn't. And here's why. Here's the things that really were a deal breaker for me. And some of these are going to surprise you. Okay, first one, the trackpad. We have this huge trackpad on the MacBook Pro, the new one, which goes to here. So here's the thing. If you look at the regular MacBook Pro, I can put my wrists down here. I put my palms down and I can type. I can reach all the keys without touching the trackpad. With the new MacBook Pro, if you rest your hands on the edges, it is impossible to reach all the keys and not bump the trackpad. So here's a problem with this. While I'm typing, I just accidentally just touch it, and then what it does is it moves my cursor, so I'm typing in a paragraph, and all of a sudden it jumps the cursor to another place, and suddenly I'm typing from a different location, and then that might happen 2 or 3 times. Then I have a paragraph, and it's a scrambled mess. I have to cut and paste, move things around, or delete and redo it. Now, if you're a perfect typist, this is probably not this is probably not an issue for you, but I'm not. I'm not Mavis Beacon. Maybe they got Mavis Beacon to do the testing, but I'm not. I'm not a great typist. In fact, it's not my strong suit. I look at the keys. I can touch type, but it's so slow. I know I need to take the time, learn to touch. So, some of this is my shortfallings. But if you're not a perfect typist and you're looking here, it's going to bump it. Okay, so other things, well, what about palm rejection? So I was like, hitting 8 keys at once and still brushing the trackpad just to test it, and it still moves. There is no palm rejection. Palm rejection is when it looks at it and says, hey, there's 2 or 3 keys being typed here right now, and these are happening, every half a second. He's typing a key, probably faster than that. But it should know to turn off the trackpad, but it doesn't. Very simple programming to do that. If 3 keys have been doing within 1 second, turn off trackpad for half a second or whatever. So, they could program it. The other thing they could do is what Wacom has. If you look at the Wacom tablets, they have what's called as mapping. So, you've got this tablet here and it works from corner to corner to corner, but you can map an area on here where you can choose to say, you know what? I don't want to use the whole trackpad. I just want to use this little bit. So they could map it to the middle part where you could say, you know what, turn it on or off or whatever. So in software, there's another fix. I did make these suggestions to Apple, by the way, and they were appreciative for these suggestions. Now, if they were to do that, even software mapping, that would solve the problem. But that's not there. And the problem is, I need this as a professional. I need this for my work every day. And when I'm typing and it takes me 2 or 3 times as long to type something, that's a big issue. Try to work around it. I know other people have said, hey, I got used to it. I'm okay. Well, I have not been able to be okay. I like to rest my palms here a little bit while I'm typing, or even just the edges of my arms. It makes it more comfortable for me for typing. I've written 20 books. I do a lot of typing. Yes, I know I probably should be a good typist by now, but in this case, I'm probably a lost cause. Okay, so while we're talking about typing, let's talk about the keys. So they have the new butterfly keys, which, they saying, or this, like, it's a good thing. Maybe some people love them, but honestly they feel cheap and tacky to me, like a little kid's toy. Those little clicky toys you would give the metal and you click it and click. They feel like that. They're very noisy and clicky, and they don't have a lot of movement on them. Whereas when you look at these keys here, after, I'll be honest with you, after working with the keys on there and then going back to my old MacBook Pro, this is my 2012 edition. This is the very first Retina here. This feels like I'm on a BMW compared to some. I'm not gonna knock any brand of car, but some cheap car, right? It's not. This feels like luxury that felt cheap and crappy. Also, there was the keys are larger, so there's very, very little gap in between the keys. If you look at these, you can see, there's a little gap in between the keys here. Now, why is that a big deal? Probably shouldn't be a big deal, but once again, I'm not a great typist, so when I'm typing here, the caps lock key is bigger on the new one than it is in this old one, and I keep hitting this caps lock key by accident. Okay, so typing, let's just say, has become very, very difficult, like very, very difficult. I thought about, okay, I can use my Wacom tablet as a touchpad. Let me get a Bluetooth keyboard. Whoa, time out. Okay, that's a lot of stuff I've got to do to make this happen. In fact, I was even there looking at those keyboards with the trackpads on there, getting ready to buy one. But the problem is, this is not the only issue I have with this. Well, what other issues? Well, the battery issue. It actually failed Consumer Report. However, I've heard recently people are saying now they've revised it, retested it, Apple have fixed something. Okay, I'm open to that. And let's hope that's the case. And by the way, this trackpad and the battery issue is with the 15-inch. Apparently the 13-inch is not, they didn't have their battery issues, and maybe they have a smaller trackpad. I believe they do. Okay, so this is the 15-inch we're talking about. So anyways, so the battery, I ran it on Safari. I ran nothing but Safari to test this, and my battery died in 2 hours. 2 hours. Now, they are advertising 10 hours or whatever they are. Okay, so, I had some people on Facebook where because I put a little report on there, part of the reason why I'm making this video. And, and some people are saying BS, I'm full of BS because of this. And, one other guy was like, well, hey, you might be, running YouTube and stuff on a web browser, but, I'm a professional here, and I'm working on Photoshop, and, I'm doing these things. So I'm not trying to play the, who's more professional than the other person game, because, fact of the matter, yes, I'm usually in Photoshop and Premiere Pro when I'm working, but I wanted to use Safari because it's just a web browser as an example of something that shouldn't be draining a lot of CPU, that shouldn't be draining the video card very hard or driving things very hard. In fact, I was barely surfing. I really just had it open. So the battery issue was a big problem. Now they're saying maybe they fixed it. Okay. I'm open to that. But then the other thing was performance. I noticed it was running slow. So I was doing presentations at Imaging USA and WPPI, which is when I first used the new MacBook Pro. Okay, well, actually, I did another presentation last year. So here's the thing. I got the dongles. I got every dongle known to man to cover every scenario. So the thing is, I plugged in the dongle here, and it didn't work. So I couldn't use my laptop for a presentation. So I had to actually borrow someone else's, and then I happened to not have Keynote on it. And then I'm speaking to the audience, a couple hundred people. Does anyone have a MacBook Pro with Keynote on it that I can use? So I literally had to borrow an audience member's computer, to do my presentation. So of course, I bought more dongles, and apparently this one is something you put it on one side and not the other side, and it doesn't work properly for some HDMI or whatever it is. So, it was one of these. So I got another one. I got the other adapter. Actually, I'm missing a couple. And this one here. Oh, and this one. So I got this one. It's supposed to solve the issue. So, when you're using this as a professional and you can't use it for all your presentations, that's a little bit of an issue. Okay, because this is the MacBook Pro. It's not the Air. It's supposed to be for pros. And that's really what it comes down to. I'm trying to use it professionally. And, I was running into these issues. Okay, so, I got around some of those issues. WPPI, I actually didn't have those issues. And I was able to say, you know what, here it is. I got it working on the screen because I had an HDMI connector. The other one actually didn't have HDMI. It had DVI or VGA, but I got all of them. So here's the thing. People are like, well, dude, just use an HDMI adapter. Just use an HDMI projector. Have you guys ever done any presentations in any convention centers in the United States? Guess what? They don't all have HDMI. And guess what? Almost no schools or universities do. Some of the more well-funded ones do, but you know what? They don't. They have DVI. They have VGA. You've got to work with what's there. So, the bleeding edge thing, great. And of course, while we're talking about the ports, it only had these, right? The USB-C, Thunderbolt 3, whatever you want to call it, only has these ports. So everybody knows they took all the other ports out. The card reader's gone. Not a big deal, right? I got a card reader here. I got this one, so I could plug this in. This is the Sachi, but I don't recommend this one because it's flimsy. It's very, very flimsy, and actually I put a micro SD card in there, and it got so hot I almost burned my fingers, it fried it. So this is cheap, it's junk, don't get it. I just got another one on Kickstarter. I'll put a link, I forget what it's called, it's coming soon, which is kind of like this but better quality. But anyway, so, you know, I figured, well, why not just, you know, replace the cables, right? So I got this from my, you know, for my iPhone. So I've got the Lightning to USB-C, and I was like, yeah, that'll work fine. Okay, so figured that, and then I got some other cables. Wow, so I don't even have all my cables here. I'm not even showing you all my cables, actually. So I got more cables and dongles, and I got the ones with the adapters here that go on here, so I could just replace the cables on my drives and my Wacom tablet and all that stuff. And I was thinking, okay, you know, plus I've got other ones here. I've got the, you know, the USB-C adapters. I got the little ones. I got, you know, I got all kinds of different dongles and adapters, and these ones are kind of sort of cool, but they're cheap too, so don't get those. They feel really flimsy when you put it in there. But anyway, so the thing is, so I put the dongles in, and I get the drive to work, but replacing the cables is a better idea. That's what I figured, you know, just put the cable on, problem solved, dongle gate, history, no issues. But hang on a sec, I'm transferring files between here and my MacBook Pro, my Crash Chat MacBook Pro, where I do most of my work, and oh, suddenly, because I've replace the cable, this doesn't work on my MacBook, my Mac Pro anymore. So, you know, I found using the adapters maybe were better. So there's a little bit of a mishmash there. Okay, so let's just, while we're talking about those, you know, let's talk about the iPhone. I've got an iPhone somewhere. iPhone's another dongle. So anyway, the iPhone 7. It's really good. Love the iPhone 7. It's really great. And then what did Apple say? Oh, we took out the headphone jack. Why? Because we're brave.
Well, the reason to move on, I'm going to give you three of them, but it really comes down to one word: courage.
That's what they said, because they're brave. But somehow they weren't brave enough to take it out of the new MacBook Pro. Thank goodness, because the headphone jack is the only thing that anybody actually has, except for the only problem with that is the new headphones that only work on here don't work on the new MacBook Pro because they don't have a Lightning. And do they make a Lightning to USB adapter? I guess they might. Maybe I got to plug my headphones in here. I don't know. So if you've got those headphones, they might not work. But here's the thing. Don't worry about it because it's all about wireless. Everything is about wireless. And so, you know, they come out the AirPod, which you still can't get right now because they're so new. Much newer than the new MacBook Pro. Oh, by the way, this is the old MacBook Pro I'm talking about. They're much newer than the old MacBook Pro. So they come with the cable, right? So they must come, because they're brave. Apple's brave, so it must come with a USB-C for the charging thing, right? Because it comes with that little dock, and then you put the AirPods in there, and then you charge it, and then you put them in, and you can listen to your music on the go. And guess what? No, it does not come with the USB-C. It comes with the USB cable, USB 3 or whatever it is, which doesn't work in the new MacBook Pro without a dongle. Okay, so clearly we've got some design flaws in the new MacBook Pro. That team that is designing the MacBook Pro either are very timid because they're not brave enough, but hang on a sec, they are brave because they threw all the ports out. And they threw out the SD card, and they got rid of the MagSafe. They even got rid of the glowing Apple logo. That's brave. Okay, so these guys are brave. Maybe they're braver than the iPhone team. Okay, sorry guys, I'm getting off track. Let me get back on track. So the issues were trackpad, keyboard, speed. I'm doing presentations and Lightroom and Photoshop are running slower. I'm noticing lags in Lightroom that I would not be getting on this MacBook Pro. Okay, so I figured, okay, why not run a benchmark? Let's see how things are looking. Because this is 4 years old. This is 2012. This is the first Retina one that came out, so it's a 2.6. So then I had two MacBook Pros of the new ones. I probably didn't tell you this. I had a 2.7 and a 2.9. So what I did is I ran the benchmarks on them. So the 2.7, the CPU actually ran slower on that than it did on the 2.6 one here. The CPU on the 2.9 quad core versus the 2.6 here, exactly the same. The video kind of showed, did go a little faster, but it had 4 gigs of RAM compared to, I think, 1 gig on this, so it should have been faster. The RAM actually ran slower. The 2.9 benchmark, the RAM actually ran the same. The hard drives do run faster on the new one. So here's the thing. The RAM and the CPU they're no faster than they were 4 years ago. That's a bit of an issue. And then the RAM, of course, they can only go to a maximum of 16 gigs of RAM, which I was able to put in this MacBook Pro, which I have here, 4 years ago. So in 4 years, you can't go any more than 16. So basically, the performance of the new MacBook Pro has not progressed in 4 years. And I spent $3,700 on it. Yes, I know. So that's a little bit of an issue. Okay, so here's the thing. I read some rumors that they're coming out, they're going to put the new, whatever it is, Lake processor in the MacBook Pros, the new ones this year, and it's going to go up to 32 gigs of RAM. I think they're going to fix some of it. They're going to have to address the trackpad, because that really was the big deal breaker for me. The screen is beautiful on it, by the way. The speakers are much better. The sound is better on the new one. That's good. It looks nice. Sounds good. Problem is keyboard, trackpad, performance is crappy. Battery life is crappy. So really that's why I returned it. And another big thing is I heard a rumor that they're putting the new one in and they're going to have a 32 gig RAM option available this year. So by then I think they would have solved the battery issues. Once again, people say they have. I haven't double checked that. Do some kind of palm rejection or some kind of a mapping of the trackpad. I don't know why it's so big. It doesn't work with an Apple Pencil. I mean, if they're going to make it work with an Apple Pencil, that'd be great. But otherwise, there's no need to have a trackpad that's that big. Someone said at the Apple Store, so they're scrolling. But you're not working in absolute mode. You're working in mouse mode. Let me explain that. So absolute mode is when you're working with a tablet and then you put your pen or your finger, because this Wacom is touch enabled, from this corner to this corner, it goes exactly there. And same with here. So wherever you go, it will go there and it'll fill the entire screen. That would be a nice option, but of course they don't have that. Now, mouse mode is where you just push it like that and it keeps moving. So someone at the Apple stores told me they put the massive trackpad in there, which is almost as big as, okay, it's not as big as a Wacom tablet, but they put the massive trackpad in there because people were getting to the edge and they couldn't go any further. But it works in mouse mode. It is not yet. I don't know about you, but I've never had issues with that. Apple, if you're watching, I'm sorry. I want to love your new MacBook Pro so badly, but it's just so flawed in its design. As a professional, there's more hindrances and barriers to me being productive than there are in new productive features. I love the new touchpad. I love the new fingerprint ID. I love the screen. There's a lot of great things. Although, why is it not 4K? But let's not even go there. And we won't even mention the fact it's not touch. So anyway, I love Apple, but I'm holding off. I will be first in line to buy the new MacBook Pro, even for $3,700. If it comes out with marked speed improvements and then deal with some of these issues, I'll be the first one to buy it. I love the design. I love the form factor. I like the Mac OS. And honestly, I don't want to have to move to Windows. I know that right now there's a lot of professionals that are talking about this, because they feel with the Mac Pro, the trash can Mac Pro hasn't been updated. The specs are pretty anemic compared to what you can get in some of the PCs. For example, the new MacBook Pro, $3,700 fully loaded. That's with the best video. That's a 4 gig ATI. Unfortunately, I prefer NVIDIA. But anyway, that's the 4 gig with the 16 gigs of RAM, the quad core 2.9 gigahertz. That's the top of the line that you can get. Now that's $3,700 with tax. Does not have a touchscreen, obviously. It's not 4K. Has a trackpad. Has the little touch bar, which I love. I love the touch bar. I think it's amazing. It's wonderful. Doesn't have any ports that you can use on there unless you go out and buy dongles till they're coming out your nose. So if you go to the Dell, and I look at Dell for $2,500. So if I go and have a look and see what Dell's got, they're top of the line. It comes with the new, whatever Lake it is, processor. 32 gigs of RAM. Even has a little touch thing on it. Nice keyboard, normal touch bar, has a 4K monitor with touch. With touch for $2,500. Over $1,000 cheaper. So, and ports. It has USB 3 and like usable ports on there. So Apple, what are you doing to us here? Why don't I just go out and some people are like, dude, just, quit complaining and just go buy the Dell and shut up, right? Okay, I really don't want to do that because you know why? I'm in an ecosystem. I have an iMac, I have the Mac Tower, with the trash can, I have other Macs as well, I have the iPads, I have the iPhones. I have an ecosystem. I love the Mac operating system. I like the fact I do something on here, it's synced with everything, so I'm in this ecosystem. So if I do change to Windows, I'm not just going to be changing the computer here. I'm going to be changing my desktop computer. I'm going to be changing my laptop, and then I'll probably go Android and use Google Apps because it makes more sense if you're working on Windows at that point to have a unified ecosystem where all your stuff is kind of in sync. Because these days it's something that I just take for granted. I expect everything to be in sync. It's about productivity. Now, if Apple failed to keep updating, not just me, there's a lot of professionals that are going to end up saying, you know what, I can't hold out anymore. I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and, go buy a PC desktop, buy a PC laptop, and then just go that whole hog. It's honestly, you get a lot more power for your money. And I really don't want to do it because I love my Apple. I love the operating system. I love the simplicity. I love not having device drivers, not dealing with viruses. I love all the things about Apple. It's designed, it's beautiful. But Apple, you really got to pay attention and really take care of the professionals, or you're going to lose the professionals. Here's the thing, when you lose the professionals, not only are we going to buy new hardware, we're going to change our phones, because I know you make your money from your phones and your iPads, but if I'm using an iPhone, I'm using an iPad because I'm in the Apple ecosystem, because it syncs my data with the native apps. It syncs my calendars, it syncs my notes, it syncs my bookmarks, all these things. I'm using the iCloud. And all my stuff is in sync, and I love it. It's beautiful. But if it gets to a point where it's stopping me doing my work, and then I'm forced to go to Windows, then I'm going to update everything else, and then I'm going to have everything in sync again, just using a different brand, different label, different logo on it. And a lot of other professionals are, but here's the thing. The professionals are the influencers. So we are the people that are doing the training, writing the books, making the videos, and you know what? When people see these glowing Apple logos, they buy them because they want to have the same equipment that we do because we're recommending it. So Apple, please don't lose sight of your core audience. And not only that, like back in the day when it was think different using Apple, this is when I started using Mac. I used to be a Windows user a long time ago, switched to Apple because I thought it was better and I found it was better for professionals to use. The hardware lasts. I mean, I've had this thing for 4 years and I'm back at it again. I'm using this again and I love it more than the new one. I want a new one to replace it, but right now I'm using this one because it works. But you know what? I don't have a PC laptop that will go on the road and travel. Like I travel so much every month, every couple of weeks I'm traveling. I take this thing with me. It's battle tested. This thing can take the knocks. It's great. The hardware is really, really well built. But you got to keep up and don't gouge us. Like seriously, don't charge us $2,700 for an underpowered laptop that's already obsolete. Like, what are we going to do? The minute Apple announces a touchscreen, it's going to be like, Apple's got a touchscreen and they're going to be sold out for years and there's going to be lines longer than soup kitchens to get in there to get a new MacBook Pro because there's a touchscreen. But Windows have had it for years. It's not new. So anyway, I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not meaning to sitting here whining like a little whiner, but I just want to tell you guys, why I returned my MacBook Pro and why I'm back to the old one, and I look forward to using the new one. But we'll see. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you're still with me. Add a comment. Tell me, what do you think? Do you guys share these same frustrations? Am I losing my mind? Did I just get a bad one? Maybe I just got a bad one. Maybe that's what happened. But let me know. What are your experiences with this? What do you think? I know some people are going to be like, seriously, dude, why did you bother getting that? I told you so. And other people are going to be like, I love my Apple. I really want it. Yeah, and I do too. And I hope the next one is going to be so great that I'm going to get it. Because right now I still love this. And these last model, these things are like gold now. Oh, so here's the thing. I wanted to go buy the old one. I figured, why not just go buy the old one? Well, here's the thing. Now, you can buy these old ones, but only with integrated graphics. Apple don't sell them anymore with the good graphics cards in them. Yeah, it's a problem. So if you can find like one from Macmall or somewhere like that, snap it up, guys, because that thing's like gold. It's, you know, if I could get one right now, I would buy it with a good video card because, you know, but I might wait. I don't know. It's a tough one. So anyway, that's kind of how I feel. So anyway, add a comment. Let me know what you think. And by the way, if you're not part of the Cafe crew, I don't normally just sit here and whine like I am right now. I usually offer really good tutorials on Photoshop and Lightroom, drones, different reviews, and gadgets and things like that. Hit the subscribe button right now. Become part of the Cafe crew and get a new tutorial every week and vlogs from time to time. Who knows when. Heading to Hawaii this week. Got some great stuff coming up. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram too, and Twitter and Facebook, where I'll post photographs. That's at Photoshop Cafe. I'm going to be posting photos from Hawaii. And also, guys, hit that like button, please, if you like this video. But anyway, I hope you guys do enjoy them. So subscribe, like, add a comment, and until next time, I'll see you at the cafe.